This is a recap on King Kong 2005. In 1933, during the economic crisis of the early 20s, vaudeville entertainer Ann Darrow is jobless and hungry in New York City. At the point when she takes an apple, producer Carl Denham comes to her guide, delivering a nickel that she dropped so she can pay the merchant. Carl is going to leave on a vagrant liner to complete his most recent film in Singapore, and he has been searching for an entertainer to supplant the main woman. Plans to cruise, a flight Carl has picked up the pace since his patrons have proactively reassessed his subsidizing. Driscoll swings by to drop out to push off, catching Jack ready and guaranteeing Carl that the now hostage scriptwriter will get done with his job. Denham has a guide of the baffling Skull Island, and he pays the liner skipper, Englehorn, to sail to the island prior to going to Singapore. On the way, Jack Driscoll falls head over heels for Darrow. Jimmy, the most youthful individual from the team, is perusing Joseph Conrad's Heart of Dimness. He examines the book with Mr. Hayes, the primary mate, seeing at one point that it's anything but an undertaking story. The boat, showing up in a thick haze, really crashes into the island. Carl takes a party shorewards, where they find the vestiges of an old human progress and experience the disrupting locals. From the get-go, all they see are elderly people, ladies and youngsters, so they trust themselves to be moderately protected. Notwithstanding their appearing to be favorable, luck doesn't keep going long. One of the film team is gone through with a lance and passes on the spot. The locals snatch the others, and similarly, as one of them is getting ready to squash Denham's skull, Skipper Englehorn and his team appear and begin taking shots at the locals. The producers and group figure out how to get away from back to the liner, yet at the same it's still on solid land. While they work to free the boat, a local sneaks on board and hijacks Ann. Driscoll goes searching for Darrow, subsequent to finding a skull fastened on the deck, just to acknowledge she had been taken. He cautions the others and they get ready to pursue her. Darrow is hauled, battling, through the water and up the rough shore. She is conveyed to the highest point of an immense, intricately cut rock wall at the edge of the town, embellished with a neckband made of bones and hooks, and attached to a wooden system that slants out from the wall, conveying her across a canyon to a little stage on the opposite side. Out of the wilderness comes Kong, a tremendous chimp. He pulls Darrow free and diverts her. The film group and a portion of the boat's team, drove by First Mate Hayes, go into the wilderness to protect Darrow. The skipper allows them 24 hours. The wilderness is a perilous spot, and a few of the salvage party bite the dust when they are gone after by dinosaurs, then by Goliath bugs, pushing and jabbing her when she attempts to rest. She moves furious and Kong disappears, reprimanded. Darrow, losing no time, runs in the other course. She rapidly draws the consideration of a meat-eating dinosaur, which gives pursuit, beginning a long and heart-halting battle grouping in which each departure removes her from the skillet into the fire. Kong shows up as the dinosaur corners Darrow. The gorilla gets her to remove her from danger, just to be confronted with a subsequent dinosaur. Showing gigantic strength and assurance, he fights them both off for some time. One gave when she's taken out of his hand. He gets her with his foot. The battle conveys them really close to a plant-trimmed gorge, where Kong powers initial one, and afterward the other dinosaur past the brink. However, the subsequent one clips its jaws on his wrist as it falls, pulling Kong down with it. He at last drops Darrow, who becomes ensnared in the advantageous plant's own way down. In this way, tragically, does one of the dinosaurs, and the pendulum movement brings it perilously near her like clockwork. In the meantime, Kong battles with the other dinosaur, additionally tangled in the plant some distance underneath. Darrow in the end tumbles to the lower part of the crevasse, arrival in shallow water lined by prairie, yet one of the dinos lands close by and comes just after her. Once more, Kong, in any case, finds it and fights it off. As the enemies go head-to-head, after a concise nod, Darrow remains among them and backs, hesitantly. Where the dinosaur can't get to her, Kong kills the dinosaur by getting into its jaws. At the point when he leaps, Darrow pursues him. He throws her up to ride on his shoulder. Afterward, Kong and Darrow watch the sunset from the highest point of a mountain, and she lets him know it is wonderful, as she taps her chest to convey how its excellence has contacted her. In the long run she nods off in his grasp, as he yawns from depletion. At the point when the primate nods off, Driscoll tracks down them and, after a fight with gigantic bats, they get away from back to the remnants, where the remainder of the party have accumulated to attempt to catch Kong. Upset that the lady got away, An irate Kong seeks after them back to the remnants to attempt to get her covered. Darrow implores them to stop and to leave the extraordinary chimp alone. At the point when Kong gets close to, she begs him to simply return, yet he doesn't. He keeps on attempting to get her covered. The film group utilizes chloroform to quell him, and, after an extended battle, Kong is caught and returned to New York. In New York, Kong is charged as Lord Kong, the eighth marvel of the world at the Alhambra Theater, where Denham and his makers show the huge primate for cash. They have employed one more lady to fill the role of Ann Darrow. In a re-establishment of the penance, they apparently had offered the genuine Ann loads of cash to fill the role, however she rejected. Driscoll comes to the Alhambra searching for Darrow, just to observe that she isn't there. As he and Carl's colleague Preston look on, Preston lets him know that Denham was correct. There is some secret left on the planet, and everybody can have a piece of it at the cost of a confirmation ticket. Driscoll remarks that Denham can't resist the urge to annihilate the things he adores. At the point when the drape goes up, it uncovers a Kong, who appears to be discouraged and lazy. He livens up a little while they draw out the lady, claiming to be confounded and scared by the group and the blazes of the press cameras. He effectively breaks free. The crowd frenzies and runs, and Kong, who sees and recalls Driscoll, pursues him from the theater and gets out into the stormy roads of New York. As bystanders shout and quickly get as far away as possible around him, Kong gets and disposes of a few youthful blonde ladies evidently searching for Ann Darrow. Working at the Day Luxury Theater, Darrow hears the police alarms and individuals shouting as the primate makes ruin in the city. At the point when Kong at last tracks down Darrow, prompted her by Driscoll, he gets her, and they end up in Focal Park, where they have a couple of tranquil, merry minutes to themselves playing on a frozen lake. Their calm time closes when the military comes after Kong with cannons shells. Kong takes Darrow and escapes to a strategic position, which in Manhattan implies high rises. He moves to the highest point of the domain state, working with her. At the point when the aviation-based armed forces assaults, Darrow shouts to them to stop. However, at last the huge gorilla, having put Darrow securely down, tumbles to his demise. Around the group of Kong, a huge group has assembled when Carl Denham appears. "The planes got him," says a man. "It wasn't the planes," answers Denham. "It was excellence killed the monster."